Ike Lee. I'm with Lansing Community College as a full-time faculty member in photography, and I'm teaching sports photo. This is sports photography. We work with students specifically on sports shooting and how to improve their photography for sports. So we've been out shooting locations. We did gymnastics. We did the skate park last night. We did volleyball. So it's really working with students to try to improve their skills as sports photographers when they go back to their school.
Well, I'm taking sports photography with Ike Lee, and we go out and do off-campus shoots. So we have been to gymnastics. We were supposed to go to basketball, but we ended up going to skate park. And we went to the fair to shoot kind of the motion that goes on with the rides. And so we've been learning a lot about how to use different types of lighting and ISO settings and depth of field to improve our images and get a better quality at the end. So that's kind of what we've been doing this week. We're going out in the field and taking photos, and before we go out there, he prepped us a lot on how to adjust our settings when we're out there to get a better picture, so when we come back it won't be as hard to edit them. But when we come back to the classroom, we go back, and he taught us how to shoot in RAW, but it was kind of more of an option to shoot in RAW or to shoot in JPEG. And so we learned how to adjust in RAW and open in RAW and edit the photos there. So we come back and he's telling us about all these different controls like sharpening and blurred the image and everything. So we just kind of learned a lot about that, and we come back and adjust them, and he's really open for us to ask questions about all the different controls.
So I'm taking sports photography, and I don't know, I've really enjoyed it because I love doing sports, and that's my favorite thing to shoot. And it's been really interesting because we got to go to a skate park last night, and we got some really cool silhouette photos. And we shot gymnastics, and that was in a gym, and it was a little bit more challenging because you have to your settings are totally whack. But I don't know, the lens that I was using allowed me to have my ISO higher. So I don't know, the pictures are not really great.
I think it's a really valuable experience for somebody who's going to shoot sports for their publications this year, and they really want to focus on, okay, how do I go into a situation and get sports actions photos that are going to be good? How do I improve my sports shooting skills, and some image processing as far as what do I do with those images once I have them. So we want them to come in with certainly a working knowledge of their cameras. That should be a requirement as far as that they've worked with their cameras a fair amount, and that they are comfortable using the camera in manual mode as opposed to just putting it in auto mode and blasting away.
I think you should know a little bit. I didn't know a whole lot about manual shooting when I came in, but coming out of it, I know so much more. And so you should walk in knowing how to use your camera, first of all, how to use your manual setting, and just kind of the main gist of photography and stuff. So
well, they should definitely know how to use a camera, but and know how to generally change the settings. But I've learned a lot more about it's okay if you have the certain lens with the certain f-stop to have your ISO go up higher, because it's not going to make the photos look completely terrible. So just I don't know how to use a camera, but there's always different techniques that you can learn.
I recommend this because if you're interested in sports photography or just any kind of fast-paced photography that's not portrait, it teaches you a lot about how you want to control your camera and how you can go back to the classroom and edit. It teaches a lot about just how to overall become a better photographer, how to be more appropriate on the sidelines, and what kind of action you want to shoot, and moving around a lot. So it taught me a lot about how to improve my, not just my reporting, but my photography and my overall journalistic value. So it was good.
I would really recommend it if you are trying to learn Photoshop, because he gives a lot of great handouts and teaches you fixes. And if you want to learn more about how to capture action, because we did some pan shots, and that's when you follow an object with the camera, and those are always cool. So.